tonight was, I think, a hard-fought battle against Eastern Kentucky, and they're doing very well. Well-coached basketball team, really talented one-on-one offensive basketball team. Certainly try to extend the floor and create a lot of pressure situations. They do a really good job of forcing turnovers with their pressure a lot. I really didn't think we had a lot of turnovers versus their pressure. We did have too many turnovers in the game. A lot of ours were kind of in the half court, but yeah, really tough cover for us, especially at the guard spot. They're big, they're physical, they're able to get to where they kind of want to go, and then they're good up front. They've got two really good players. The freshman's a very big-bodied kid who can step out, Marino, and shoot the ball. I think it's King at the other spot there, and they go to those guys inside. So. Defensively, I just felt like we had a hard time, and certainly giving up 80 points is a challenge. Couple that with 20 turnovers, that's kind of too much of a deficit to overcome against a really good basketball team, one that's performing really well in our league. The good news for us was from an offensive side of the basketball, when we didn't turn over, we shot over 50%, probably for the first time all year. And I think there was still a lot of opportunities. I think Darius was 1 for 7. I think Cade was 1 for 6. They had great looks. So at the end of the day, when you get into conference play and you're going against a really good basketball team, it's going to come down to 1 or 2 more stops in the first half, 1 or 2 more stops in the second half, and then us having 1 or 2 more or less turnovers in each half, and that kind of becomes the difference in the basketball game. But I thought the guys competed the whole way through. I still think we're getting better, but I do really believe we've got a lot of room for growth.
42 points in the paint tonight. The guy next to you, Reece, had a big part of that with 9 points tonight, including a 4-for-4 night.
Yeah, I think Reece is getting better. I think he's starting to buy into some of the things that, from a culture standpoint, that we're trying to establish. I think he really understands what he's supposed to do. I think more than anything, he's kind of figured out how to take care of his body, to get his body to kind of hold up through the rigors of the season, to be able to get through practice every single day, even though we've limited him a little bit in practice. But it's showing in his play. He's able to play longer and this, that, and the other. And I think like a lot of young players, when you say I worked hard in high school, that's one thing. But that same working hard in high school doesn't work when you come to this level. There's another level of working hard that you got to figure out. And like all our guys, I think he's had to experience that a little bit, especially having 2 knee surgeries. Not to make excuses, but that's a reality. I think that he's got huge room for growth, especially physically, because of the injuries. And a year from now, I think he's going to have a chance to focus more on his conditioning. He should be able to get into the weight room and really transform his body. And I think those 2 things will actually be better for his knee. And then when his conditioning and his physical strength improves and all those types of things, the knee kind of gets even better than it is now. I do think that will improve his game. He inherently, is really good around the basket, especially from an offensive rebounding standpoint. There's probably nobody better on our team than that. But surprisingly, he's got a really high basketball IQ. He understands winning and losing and what some of that takes. He's very good at talking on a defensive perspective. So for him, moving forward, the biggest challenge is, can he stay healthy? Can he continue to get to understand how to work on his health? I think tonight he probably played 16 minutes. Will there be an opportunity for him to get over 20, to move that to 24? I think that's going to be the big challenge for him moving forward. But certainly he played really well in the game and was a big reason why we were able to compete, and certainly played really well the other night too against Morehead State.
Reece, with the size and physicality that the EKU team has, how tough was it to get those opportunities?
I feel like I just stayed in the right spots. Coach tells you to get in your spots, get in the dunker spot, roll to the front of the room. And all my offense really came from me just being in the right spot, competing hard on the backboard.
Talk a little bit about how the team has progressed from the beginning of the season to this point.
That'll be a long talk. I feel like we had a lot of room to grow, and we kind of picking up some of that slack, but we still have a long way to go. But it all starts. Also, all of us making little improvements, like jump stopping, finding the open man, getting to your spot, getting the dunker, stop floating around. And I feel like we're gradually improving, but we're not there yet.
I mean, looking at the stat sheet, honestly, out-rebounded them, outshot them. The only negative really is the turnovers.
Yeah, I think it's it's the greatest challenge for a young player is to be able to read defense once you get the ball inside. Whether it's for a guard or whether it's for a front court player. I think sometimes, like again, when you come to this level, it's not as easy as it was for the Forge to kind of catch and go. It's going to get really crowded. Can you stay on balance and play full speed? And then if you can feel that you've got two people on you, now if the floor is spaced correctly, can you find the open people? We're still not able to do that on a consistent basis. Clearly, we're able to do it some, or you don't shoot 50% from the field in a college basketball game without some spacing, without some extra passing. But it just goes to show you, and how excited we are. Obviously our front court players have got to do a better job of that. But the most of those reps, the most of those turnovers are with our three ball handlers, Keyshawn Davis and Junior Clay and Tawante Williams. Those guys are making some really, really good plays. But because of how we play, the sheer number of reps, they're getting exposed to, they've also got more opportunity to do well. They've also got more opportunity to do poorly. And we're just doubling down and believing if we continue to sow into these guys, continue to teach them, they get these types of reps, that's going to really enhance our basketball team. Because right now you see our team, this is the last two games, I think we've been in over 70 points.
Yeah.
It's not always about them scoring once they get there. The sign of a great player is when you raise the level of your teammates and the ball is starting to get moved other places. It's just we're not able to do it enough, and that's part of our growth. It's part of the process. Reading defense is a skill. It's a learned behavior, and it's just going to take plenty more of these reps because, trust me, these young men want to do well. They are fierce competitors. They are leaders. They love Tennessee Tech. They like competing. As you saw tonight, there was no quit in them. So it's like any other part of our program. It's just going to take some time, and we understand that we're in this for the long haul.